Is Demet'S jealous of Yaman? The truth is, that idea doesn't make sense when you consider their journey and how far they've come on their own. So, they shared a strong connection during a project, but today they live different lives, each succeeding in separate countries. They shared a strong connection during a project, but today they live different lives, each succeeding in separate countries. What they experienced on set was powerful, meaningful glances, subtle touches, and an energy that lit up the screen. Can was clearly captivated by Demet'S natural sensual presence. She doesn't just act with her body, she transforms it into art. Reducing their relationship to mere desire or jealousy would be unfair. Demet is a confident woman who doesn't seek attention or validation. She speaks openly, lives passionately, and uses her body as a tool of expression. Even living apart, he in Rome, she in Madrid or Istanbul, their chemistry didn't fade. Sometimes distance fuels desire, other times it becomes silent longing. But this isn't about jealousy. It's about mutual respect, affection, and shared memories. The media often exaggerates, turning passion into scandal and spontaneity into gossip. But Can and Demet are genuine artists, bound by a connection that goes beyond romance. Desire isn't a flaw, it's creative power. In a world dominated by appearances, Demet remains authentic. Despite rumors and forced associations, especially with Can, she has followed an elegant, smart, and unique path. Demet has evolved. She's no longer just a beloved romantic lead. She's a mature actress, ambitious and self-aware. Some try to trap her in past narratives, but she's real, free to grow and protect her privacy. It's unfair to define her by her past with Can. It's unfair to define her by her past with Can. She's continued to grow, taking on challenging roles and connecting sincerely with fans. In a world ready to judge, Demet has responded with dignity, coherence, and silence when necessary. Some criticize her for her personal choices. The presence of Özge Gürel in Can's life stirs speculation, comparisons, and doubts about Demet'S. Some see strength behind her smile, others a mask. But often criticism comes from admiration. Demet represents a woman who embraces success while staying true to herself. Even when judged, she walks forward with her head held high. For those of us who admire her journey, we believe her best is yet to come. Lastly, some say her smile hides pain. But even these critiques reflect admiration. Her life is under constant scrutiny, and people project their own expectations onto her. Can Yaman's situation raises questions about his future. His career doesn't seem to have the same resonance as Demet'S, who has become a global icon thanks to her presence on platforms like Netflix. Can, on the other hand, is more recognized in certain regions, and his challenge will be expanding his influence globally. Will there be a decline in Can Yaman's career? The answer is not simple. If Can decides to follow a path similar to Demet'S, he could find his place on the international stage, consolidating a more genuine personal brand, away from promotion tours, and more focused on authentic interaction with his followers. In summary, Demet Özdemir has achieved what many actors desire, to become a global icon while maintaining her authenticity. If Can Yaman can follow a similar path, he could become the hero of his story, benefiting both himself and his fans. Career or relationship? With success, Can Yaman's relationship with his fans shifted from genuine friendship to a commercial process. Genuine relationship or distancing for high-budget transactions? This dilemma intensified with international productions. Although his fame grew in Italy and Spain, his connection with the local audience weakened. The images of melancholic looks in leather jackets went viral, but interaction dropped. The paradoxical truth? Loneliness under the spotlight. Fame often brings the greatest loneliness. However, there are also criticisms and doubts about the situation between them, especially when some fans question Can's loyalty and the choices he makes in his life. An interesting comment highlights that if he got married, who knows if he'd be faithful, pointing to Can's lifestyle and his well-known relationship with fun and freedom. In this sense, it can be thought that Demet, despite her love, may never have been Can's only priority, and this could have caused some wear in their relationship. Sometimes the expectation of commitment from fans and the media can be overwhelming, and although Demet has shown herself to be understanding and loyal, love is not always enough when external circumstances affect a couple's dynamics. Beyond the criticisms, it is also possible to see Demet as a woman who has managed to stay true to herself and her principles without being swayed by the pressures of the entertainment world. Despite the constant attention she receives, Demet doesn't seem to be the type of person who is affected by other people's judgments. Despite the constant attention she receives, Demet doesn't seem to be the type of person who is affected by other people's judgments. In the comments of her followers, there are those who highlight Demet'S authenticity, mentioning that even though others may interpret her as naive, her ability to stand firm in her beliefs is admirable. For many people, Demet represents the woman who fights for what she believes in, who doesn't let others influence her, and who stays loyal to her own truth, even when that means making difficult decisions. However, there are also those who criticize her, not only for her relationship with Can, but for the decisions she has made in her personal life. Some comments, such as those mentioning that she had a relationship with Can and now is with Özge Gürel, suggest a sort of rivalry or conflict between the women around her, especially when comparisons between their relationships and the loyalty Demet has shown towards her ex-partner come to light. Özge Gürel's presence in Can's life, even after his separation from Demet, is a topic that continues to generate speculation, and for some represents a contradiction in Demet's intentions. One of the most critical observations relates to Demet's public image. Many of her fans see her as a woman who keeps a smile despite hardships, which can be interpreted as a sign of strength, but also as a facade to hide the pain or insecurities she faces in her personal life. However, it's important to note that although the comments may seem harsh, the criticisms also come from an admiration for her work and her courage to move forward despite adversity. Her life, like that of many public figures, is exposed to constant scrutiny, and people tend to project their own expectations onto her happiness and well-being.